Hi, dear friends. Welcome back to Aksharadare. I'm Devraj. I hope you guys are enjoying the holidays, the Sra holidays, and also I hope you guys are learning great and earning great. Today is 27th October 2023. So before going to start reading the newspaper, I would request you guys to please subscribe the channel, like and comment. If you like the video, please share it with your friends. So in the upcoming days, I would like to bring very informative interviews that is especially related to teachers who have served in education field as a teachers and lecturers and professors. So I'm going to bring their interviews very soon. So I need your cooperation and your help and your support for this work. And please subscribe the channel, like and comment. Let's start today's newspaper reading the Hindu, which is very important for the point of the competitive exams. And let's see what's in today news. The Hindu. The Bangalore edition. Sometimes it would looks like this. SC rules in favor of using donor gametes. Israeli troops launch a ground raid into Gaza. 8 former Navy officers get a death penalty in Qatar. India says it is deeply shocked exploring legal options. Adds it will take up the matter with Qatari authorities. The Indian nationals employed in Doha were accused of breaching a sensitive secrets. Tussle between HDK and DKS escalates. 13 die as SUV rams pocket tanker near Chikaballapura. Poor visibility due to a dense mist led to accident, say police. Driver of the SUV involved in the accident was illegally running a ferry service and the vehicle was overloaded. Walk-in interview on October 30. The police had a Herculean task identifying the deceased as the bodies were behind a recognition. Water supply to be hit in several areas in the city. Wife of ex-MLA booked for using false caste certificate to get promotion. Sujaki Sridhara allegedly gave a false caste certificate to get promoted as assistant professor at the government Ayurveda Medical College. Startups and small business, international conclave on growth strategies. HC quashes a criminal case against a social mantri on a delay in and delivery of plants. Criminal law can't be invoked for delay in delivery of plants in the absence of a dishonest intent. 3 booked for slaughtering sheep publicly. Government mulls over voluntary disclosure of policy to provide chance to surrender wildlife artifacts. The policy the state government is exploring is in the larger public interest as many are still not aware of the Wildlife Act, says Minister Khandre. Activists oppose government move. The government should not condone the act of possessing wildlife artifacts or materials as it has serious ramifications. Call to set up a centralized DNA repository. Dasara elephants head back to jungle camps. Tunnel boring machine Rudra achieves a breakthrough. Union government defends references to mythology in reading a module on Chandrayaan 3. Spotlight. Future focused football to set the right to right the dearth of game ready players in the state. Starting to 2019, the Karnataka State Football Association, the umbrella organization for the game, began its youth leagues program that now sees competitions in the under 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, and 17 categories with no fewer than 15 teams in each age group. And Sudarshan maps the sports changing ecosystem in Bangalore. The ultimate aim is to impact Indian football. We wanted to build a pathway with where kids can join at the age of 7 or 6 or 7 and make it all the way up. We wanted to become a scouting platform for top ISL clubs and I League clubs. Jharkhand Women's Asian Championship Trophy 2023 begins today. Free entry. Face off between Kumaraswamy and DKS escalates as JDS leader accuses letter of illegal land deals. A legislature session likely to be stormy. Karnataka attracted a 7,59,936 crore investment. 27 engineers are suspended for dereliction of duty. The Rural Development and Panchayat Raj Department on Thursday suspended 727 engineers for dereliction of duty, according to the department release. Engineers have been suspended for not reporting to duty in the posting they were transport. Of the suspended engineers, 5 was assistant executive engineers, 7 assistant engineers, and 15 junior engineers. The release said 68 to be conferred Rajyotsav Award this year. Center to provide additional 20 lakh tons of coal per month to state. The back must stop somewhere. HC tells the government on delay in construction of new school building. IIMB creating leaders and change makers too, says Adrapadi Mumu. Kannada University to ink pact with US firm to teach Kannada. This retired official has transformed Swath's dryland into pause. Mukund Rao, a retired assistant commissioner at the Commercial Tax Department, is determined to bring back at least parts of pause around Bengaluru and in various other districts in Karnataka. Two-day Karnataka Festival to commemorate 100th show of Samudhaya's Tughlaq. Karnataka in focus. History of Sarpar Samsthan. Era of first war of independence. Basava Sagar Dam and paddy fields. Yadgir Port are developed by many. Carved out of Gulbarga district. Widows Taylor and almost local British officer of Sarpur. It was during turbulent times in the 1840s that the Nizam of Hyderabad appointed Philip Meadows Taylor as his political agent and sent him to Surpur. The officer, who was also a writer, painter, and historian, left a legacy as a man of empathy for the locals. Bias cautions farmers to be worried of Congress. A Telangana minister responded after Congress leaders urged the election commission to stop the disbursement of financial aid to farmers under the Raita Bandhu scheme. TPCC chief demands that the funds earmarked for beneficiaries and under welfare schemes to be released by number 2nd. Tamil Nadu governor inciting hatred against government. Minimum wages issue government urged to challenge SC order. The voice of a Gaja under occupation. Let's read this editorial page written by the former Vice President of India. The voice of a Gaza under occupation. While the conflict rages in Gaza amid allegations and counter allegations and in the midst of unabased American partiality, it is relevant to recall what the senior leader of Hamas, Moussa Abu Marzouk, told the New York magazine October 13 about the political approach. We rolled down all of them. We knocked on the door of reconciliation and we were not allowed in. We knocked on the door of elections and we were deprived of them. We knocked on the door of a political document for the whole world. We said we want peace, but give us some of our rights. But they didn't let us in. He added, we tried every path. We didn't find one political path to take us out of this morass and free us from occupation. We spoke to the Americans, Europeans, and all of the people in order to achieve the Palestinian people's rights without any benefit. Nothing has been achieved towards the idea of two states from 1948 until today. We are a people under occupation. Abu Marzouk added that in earlier conflicts, the Israelis waged wars outside their borders. This is the first time that the Palestinians are crossing the borders and fighting in their historic land. The conflict had shattered the aura of invisibility. Aviv's response. The Israelis' response to the Hamas attack has been to halt the evacuation of the northern half of Gaza, to enforce it by blockade, by the cutting of food, water, and electricity, as also by the massing of 3 lakh troops on Gaza's border. The objective, presumably, is to occupy the northern zone and expand the space for new settlements. The Palestinians see it as such, and I recall the manner in which the state of Israel came into existence on May 19, 1948, when 6 lakh 56,000 Arabs inhabited of the mandate territory of Palestine were made to plea by what the historian Paul Johnson called History of the Jews, page 551, as the scientific use of terror to break the will of liberal rulers. Palestinians were thus made to pay for the genocide of Jews in the Europe, which was committed by Germans, not Arabs. Nor should the ideological motivation, particularly of the present Israeli leadership, be overlooked. It has repeatedly equated the Palestinians with the Nazis who should be eliminated. This is a reiteration of what Vladimir Jabotinsky, as a respected predecessor in right wing Zionism, said in 1923. Zionism is a colonizing adventure and therefore it stands or falls by the question of armed force. He predicted that the Palestinian will not leave his land unless confronted by a wall of Jewish bayonets, so that a new race, proud, generous, and cruel, shall arise. The reality of this perception has been reinforced by decades of connivance by world powers. Innumerable United Nations Security Council resolutions have remained unimplemented. Each reiterated the earlier ones, and some even indicated new goalposts. Each sought to explain away the guilt of the culprits. Resolution 2034 of December 2016, for instance, outlawed all settlement activity and reiterated the desirability of implementing the two-state solution. A departure from the UNSC route was attempted in September 2020 by the Abraham Accords, seeking piously to handle radicalization and conflict while ignoring the causes of both. An expectation of expanding the ambit of both has not materialized. No more invisible. Israel's objectives for the Gaza operation have been officially identified with precision, toppling Hamas and destroying its military capabilities, eliminating the threat of terrorism emanating from the Gaza Strip, exerting maximum pressure to find a solution to the hostage issue, and defending the borders of the state and its citizens This would require going into Gaza. Informed Arab columnists like Abdel Bari Artwan are of the opinion that the most recent fighting has deprived Israel of its two most effective weapons. Its scariness and its deterrent power. Such a move, he says, would be more far-reaching than Ehud Olmost's foray and Ariel Sharon's venture. The response of the United States and some of its allies to the present crisis raises the question of motivation. Did they know more about the chink in Israel's armor? Did they apprehend the implications of conflict going behind Gaza and its adverse impact on Gaza, Israel? Pertinent questions. The prognosis of Thomas L. Friedman in the New York Times of October 16th, 2023 sheds light on the prospects. If Israel goes into Gaza now, it will blow up the Abraham Accords, further destabilize two of America's most important allies, Egypt and Jordan, and make a normalization with Saudi Arabia impossible. Huge strategic setbacks. It will also enable Hamas to really fire up the West Bank and get a shepherd's war going there between Jewish settlers and Palestinians. Altogether, it will play directly into Iran's strategy of sucking Israel into imperial overstretch and in that way weakening the Jewish democracy from within. Friedman Hartz, while Biden is right to support Israel, we must get clear answers from Netanyahu now before it's too late. Once Israel topples Hamas, who will gown Gaza? If Israel intends to gown Gaza, will it pay for the rebuilding of the infrastructure that it is destroying? And if not, who will? How long does Israel intend to allow the humanitarian crisis to unfold in southern Gaza? Does Israel plan to build settlements in Gaza? Does Israel respect Gaza's borders? Does it have a plan to help rebuild the Palestinian Authority in the West Bank? President Joe Biden was emphatic in his condemnation of Hamas for the responsibility of the hospital attack. Its timing is yet to be established, and Professor Anthony H. Cardsman of the Center for Strategic and International Studies is of the opinion that the only way to convince those who do not take sides is to establish some form of international investigation that is led by nations or individuals who are credible. Clearly, there may be merit in Abu Majok's claim. Hasty resort to partiality may not be the option. Manipur needs a platform for Samwat. Let's read this done by the chairperson of the Special Center for Study of Northeast India. Manipur needs a platform for Samwat. What it is? Unique feature of India's intellectual tradition is that the point of view of the opponent Purva Paksha must be taken seriously. Not because one loves the opponent, but because one needs to understand the opponent better if one has to win an argument. That is how the tradition of Samwad and dialogue constitutes a major component of this long standing tradition. The opposite is coercion and violence, which are outcomes of a monologue possessed by those who own the truth. The latter as a trend can be witnessed all over the globe across histories. Today it is found among conflicting nationalities, religious communities, or ethnicity, whether it is in Israel, Nu, or Manipur. As Gaza bleeds, there is no objective statement of truth that can explain the large-scale violence and human tragedy that is engulfing the country. While some find fault with the initial point of ignition by Hamas, there are others who are worried about the quantum of destruction that the Palestinians have faced. Either we are carried away by the immediate turn of events or faced with the challenge of finding the structural cause of the entire Israel Palestinian crisis. Similar is the case with Manipur, though the quantum of violence is far less. The crisis in the state. The Manipur crisis has been running for over 5 months now, and we are now nowhere close to the truth of how and why the violence happened. and which is still continuing. While many civil social bodies on either side are carried away by the violent turn of events, there are others stuck with propounding their larger narratives and demolishing the narratives of the opponent. Each of the varying groups seems to possess contradicting truths. The challenge is equally tough for the third party as it seems to get influenced by one or the other warring groups. The Editors Guild of India faced a stiff assistance from the Mighties. The allegation is that the guild has put out a biased report that favors the cookies. Subsequently, the guild has to seek the Supreme Court of India's help to utilize the past information reports filed by the Manipur police. Since then, the pace of all other fact finding committees seems to have slowed down, with the larger picture of truth still to materialize. There have been a few truths about some specific cases. Police investigation under the Unified Command Structure has cracked cases related to the parading of two Kuki women who were stripped, the kidnapping and killing of two Maiti students, the arrest of former cadre of the Banned People Liberation Army of Manipur, followed by the arrest of a Kuki militant following a bomb blast at a multi ethnic Kwakta village. Several Manipur based drug traffickers have been arrested in Mizoram, Assam, Tripura, and Delhi, pointing to the spread of illegal activities and the large scale involvement of the people in the trade. The arrests show that the civil administration is slowly steering back to life. The hardlines aligners and their politics. However, the crisis is far from over. Most worrisome is the politics driven by the hardliners, whose narratives are to show the opposite camps as being the perpetrators of violence. These narratives often project the protagonist as the victim, and that violent acts they resorted to were out of self-defense. Thus, violence gets justified and in each of these narratives. Unfortunately, humanity takes a back seat. While the state will take its own course to identify the truths behind the magnified stories, the crisis is not altogether about the state citizen relationship. Had this been the case, it would have been just a law and order issue. But the fact is that were instances where armed militants have inspired members of their affiliated community to call themselves as a people, vice versa, an enemy in the other community. The touching of houses, cold-blooded killings, and the inhuman treatment of human women and children are influenced by the presence of armed militants and a false sense of impunity among some people. This truth about ethnic conflict is one among many narratives. There are larger narratives such as an imagined cookie nation, insurgents across the border, illegal migration, and narco terrorism. It is narco terrorism that has turned out to be the real threat to the Indian state. Focus on its bonds. Amidst these complex narratives, there is a need to arrive at a historic truth, a truth that preferably must be agreed by all. There is not only a need for dialogue but also a verification of the facts claimed in these narratives. The search for a holistic truth cannot be done without the presence of the contending parties. The narratives of the hardliners are extremely problematic, for these are shaped by the politics of exclusion, which allows little room for dialogue. On the contrary, coexistence, the matrimonial bonds and spatial sharing among the ethnic communities are the realities of life in the state. People seem to forget the long existing multicultural life of Manipur while having been dragged into the violent politics of the present. Dialogue does not necessarily mean political agreement. Rather, it is about cross-checking each other's claims and counter claims. Negotiated truth is possible when the contesting parties recognize the amiability in arguments and show an openness to the outcome. India's intellectual tradition of Samwad is an invitation to an openness with truth. This requires enormous moral strength in the practitioners of a dialogue, and the result can be peaceful and long standing. long lasting. It is an attempt to understand the other's point of view and politics better. It is also about freeing oneself to a committed truth, letting it open to scrutiny by the other party. Manipur needs a platform for Samwad, however small amid the violence and the mistrust. This is about the Manipur. Internecine squabbling. The Republicans are a deeply polarized party after the advent of Trump. Is India ready to host the Olympic Games? 13 years is not a long time, even if you want to beat for the Games. You have to start working from now to make yourself presentable to beat for the Games. How a marketing blitz can affect film criticism. Where there is darkness, there is light. Reviews and interviews can often dictate access to stores. Five militants killed near Elosi in Kupwara. Police encounter with infiltrators started in the Mike Makal sector. Machar sector, a police spokesperson says in Jammu, a BSF and Pakistan Rangers exchanged fire in the Arnia sector, injuring one Jawan and civilian. 8 ex-Navy officers gets a death penalty in Qatar. Rath Prabhar is to be called nodal officers for outreach events. Congress politicizing ED search in Rajasthan paper leak case. BJP. ED action in Rajasthan sign of BJP's imminent loss. Pilot. Mamata slams a dirty political game of BJP. ED searches in Rajasthan kick up bro. Land will continue to be a key domain of warfare. Army chief. Sparks Pliant Ethics Committee meet to a complaint against Maua. India leader to be chosen at Pochin Lime. Lalu Prasad. Kamalnath files poll papers from Chindwara. Congress SB are fighting for same issues. Ram versus Rao and Indian villains man in deep trouble. Communal cut and a trust royals poll blitz. Chhattisgarh has never seen such a divisive rhetoric so far in its electoral history. As Amit Shah and Imanta raised the temperatures by resorting to such language, especially in the Durg and Rajnandgaon belt. The ruling party has been seeking to defend its top through warfare promises. Out of job and out of race after a long battle. Former IS officer Nisha Bangri joined the Congress in Madhya Pradesh on Thursday. Assam CM gets a easy notice for speech targeting minister in poll bound Chhattisgarh. Congress announces a third list for Rajasthan poll. EC issues notice to Priyanka Gandhi over remarks on Modi. Mehbooba re-elected PDP president for fourth time. SD allows surrogacy strikes down rule banning use of donor gametes. Two jet bench comes to the rescue of a woman suffering from the rare medical condition of Mayor Rokitansky Kuster ulcer syndrome by staying the operation of a law which threatened to wreck her hopes of becoming a mother. Had Tago's name on varsity plaque, says Mamata. BJP celebrates Accession Day in Jammu and Kashmir. Super rich incomes share ebbing Mohammed middle class mobility CBDT. India's green hydrogen move may worsen pollution if steps are not in place, says study. Saranagati, the easiest way. Afghan girls education activist released from a detention family. 10 PKK fighters killed as Turkey renews strikes on northern Iraq. Slovakia announces a halt of aid to Ukraine, pointing to crack in unity. Armenia PM hopes for Azerbaijan peace deal in upcoming months. Israeli troops carry out ground incursion into Gaza. Death toll in Gaza, which sees a devastating Israeli bombing, soars past 7,000 according to the Palestinian officials. During the raid, soldiers killed Hamas fighters and destroyed infrastructure. Palestinians will die rather than leave home and why. Pak sets up deportation centers to hold migrants. The road hired for Nawaz Sharif in Pakistan. Ola Electric raises 3,300 crore, 200 crore for expansion of EV business. Census sinks 1.4 to 4-month low on a geopolitical US bond yield worries. Sunak calls for global stand on AI safety. Mamaearth parent Vanassa's 1,700 crore IPO to open on October 31. HPCL Chevron tie-up to unveil Cortex brand lubricants in India. PNB Q2 net surges over fourfold to 1,756 crore. Sri Lanka files on England's misery, leaves its title defense in tatters. England Sri Lanka game the shortest of the 2023 World Cup. England reaches a new low in 25 matches at Chinnaswamy. Sri Lanka continues winning streak against England in World Cups. Skipper Sakib Al Hassan booed by home fans on World Cup break. Have confidence, believe in myself as a leader. Butler. Kohli bowls at Rohit in the nets as India trains for England game. Land game. India got its first part right. A second act begins. Pakistan in a must-win situation against an in-form South Africa. Bahuma urges team not to be complacent against a mercurial Pakistan side. We always bounce back. Hopefully, we will do it against Shadab Khan. Dutch skipper Edwards hopeful of keeping the group together for a long time. National Games fencer Bhavani Devi dominates. Sheetal Rakesh duo Khilari and Siddharth and Ardmore Golden Sheen. Indians will be hoping to reset their performance. Mbappe inspired PSG outclasses Milan. Injured Sindhu concedes a match. Satvik Chirag exit. Aditi tied 10th place at Maya Maybank Championship. China adjusts Japan to climb cross country gold medal. Harmesh Har clinches junior men's skeet gold. New cattle Tonali banned for 10 months for betting. For batting or betting. Soham and Rihanna clinch under 15 titles. When I get on the run, I know I am difficult to bowl to. Maxwell. I was literally eating them flat through the gap or picking my spot pretty clearly where I wanted to go, and it was only the back end where I tried to just pump everything. Reveals the Australian after smashing the fastest 100 in World Cup history. Bhavuma leans on Simons to ace a Chepakar challenge. Quiz yourself on trivia and facts across various sports and games from across around the world. What does the abortion verdict mean for reproductive justice? A bench of the Supreme Court has said recognition of women's autonomy cannot eclipse the rights of the unborn child, unmasking the Indian osteoporosis care crisis. Only a small percentage of people in India receive care for their osteoporosis, a condition characterized by weakening of bones. In practice, when women come before courts, a discourse on fetal rights has emerged. Text and context page. A number of mass killings in United States this year.